Alright guys, we are back with another week. Dave is in Michigan salmon fishing for the next 2 weeks. Hopefully he doesn't catch anything because he's missing out on movie review time. But me and Roger, what do we have to say when Dave goes fishing? Fuck that. Alright. Cool. What is up guys? You saw the introduction. That means, hey, we are back. John Carter was my pick this week. Everybody knows, I've been talking about it here and there, that I wanted to pick a big budget blockbuster flop in everybody's eyes that I somehow enjoyed and understand that nobody else can get. Alright, so Roger has brought along Mike. So cousin Mike is here. He is going to fill in for Dave. It's also going to be his pick, so make sure you stick around to the end to hear his pick because we have no idea what it's going to be. And it's a surprise because we know what Dave usually picks, and so we have no idea what you're going to pick. Alright. So, let's get into it. John Carter, what did you guys think?
Wow.
Immediately, it's a Disney film.
Correct.
Clearly. And
Yes.
I feel like it's watching a Star Wars film mixed with some Indiana Jones, and felt like I was in Tatooine a lot.
It felt like there was so much story to take in, you know, and I was getting the Star Wars effect too of like prequels. Because there's so many different characters to remember, you know. There's so many different stories that can lead off from this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they bring in like different, I don't know, races of people, human races. Whether it's just like the Red Clan, the Blue Clan. It's like
Red Clan, Blue
the
Clan.
Bloods and the Crips.
and languages too. There's so many different languages you had to pick up, you know, these different names, you know.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you one probably right now.
All I got was Thark.
Thark.
Thark, okay, yeah.
But other than that, most times when it's a bunch of that stuff, it loses me. It's like overload.
It was a lot. That movie was a lot. You know what I mean? It is one of those movies that has like all these visual effects and everything like that. But I feel like for me, the reason why everybody got lost in that film is because it's Mars and people are breathing on Mars and there's these structures on Mars and we've been so bred to understand there's nothing on Mars or for what we can see. So you have to kind of take yourself out of that mentality and watch the film for what it is.
Yeah, and water. There's water.
Yeah.
You know, clear water. They're drinking it. You know?
They're floating down the river of
I'm
water.
thinking he's doing this. I'm thinking, don't drink the water.
I was expecting
It's Mars water.
something to come out of the water when he
Aliens peeing that. What are you doing?
No, that's alien feet.
Yeah, dude, don't
I
drink
think
that.
one thing though was like the jumping, like the gravity.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I go ahead.
I think that I love that the most because I get this Superman feeling. Superman comes down to Earth. Gravity's different to him. That's why he can fly. That's why he's so strong because he's on a different planet and the gravity's different. You know, John Carter, human, goes to Mars, and then you're like the superhero because the gravity's different pull. You know?
Yeah, I found it. I did enjoy when he got there and he had to experiment and it was like,
He's learning to fly. Yeah,
I enjoyed that, but then it just became very, over the top.
They had to really sell it. They had to really sell it.
Jumping and all that.
Yeah, and it was like he became Yoda.
Well, then he starts doing the rock. You had that rock on the chain. I'm like, where did that come from?
Just ripped it off, like ripped the whole bowl
Well,
off.
he helped with the white ape, but still, he just picks it up and starts
He's
swinging.
like, it's on.
But those are the moments you're talking about, though.
When this was wrote, though,
Yeah.
was
1912. Because this came out for the 100th anniversary, 2012, when this came out.
Okay.
And so that's why I get back to you have to think about Burroughs when he wrote this in 1912. You don't know anything, man. They even you have the basic telescope back then, right? I mean, nothing over the top.
I don't really know what they had.
They
knew quite a bit of stuff. I don't know what they knew about Mars.
Well, they didn't know that John Carter was alive on Mars. I mean, geez, who would have thought? I mean, this is a real time
Well,
film.
how about this? I will say that I do like the way they bring tie the story together to Earth. I do like that. I like how he's in the desert, he's in the Calvary, and it's like the Old West, and I like the Monument Valley. That reminds me of John Ford, John Wayne Western running through, and it was the Calvary, which was cool. And then he stumbles upon some secret chamber hiding from Indians, which I don't quite understand what happened there. The Indians were like...
I think that the sun symbolized like a god or something like that to them. Or like...
There was like the 9 rays, and he kept calling out like the evil spider.
Yeah.
Right? It was like,
Here's your spider.
And that was
he's like
that's why
spider.
the Indians took off.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
that's
it's like sacred ground or something. Yeah.
so they knew there was something there. Like the Indians knew that was some kind of power.
Like I say, going back though, and then here's the U.S. the military and the cavalry's trying to get him to help them take out the Indians. You know,
Yeah.
and no matter what, he still goes to a different world. And now these people are trying to use him to take, because he's an asset to the military. So they want to use him against
'Cause
their.
it's half-
This I don't know, because he's here on Earth. There's a war going on.
Yeah.
And he goes to Mars, and there's a war
Same
going on there too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, help us, no, help us, help us. You know, you're powerful, please. You know.
Now with when he was on Earth though, he didn't want to help the U.S. military. What was the reasoning?
Probably they didn't want to fight for their cause. They were going taking after the Indians and stuff like that. He's like, well, these people are just.
But he said he didn't care about the Indians either.
Yeah.
Maybe he just lost the cause after his wife died.
Yeah.
What,
didn't
what
just do
happened
it
to his
attack.
wife? We don't know, right?
House burned down?
Yeah,
House burnt-
she was
I think-
protecting the child, and
I think they got raided by somebody. I think someone came in and just killed them all.
Hmm.
Well, I guess we kind of get a feel for the time period because he was in the Old West, and then
Yeah.
goes that
the year it started, the movie started in New York City,
1868.
1881,
81.
and then it goes back to the Arizona territory in 1868 for the backstory. So that's 1868 is when he first takes off. He goes to
Okay.
Mars.
Yeah.
So we're probably at like 19 something. I bet it's present day. I bet it's 1912
Oh, when he comes back,
when he comes back. It'd be present day from the book came out.
maybe.
Well, his nephew's sitting there reading his book the whole time.
Yeah.
He's not inside the grave.
Yeah, it's all.
And then he's like, is he waiting out in that bush for like ever?
I don't know.
Hurry up and read the book.
Come on,
Get out
Megan.
the book.
Dude.
Okay, here we go.
A scholarly family member. He was also, though, he said he grew up listening to his uncle's stories.
So he was already like into it, like
Yeah.
from the get go.
Had that connection.
Yeah. Well, he's loaded now, so.
But I'm really disappointed to know that Disney won't be making a sequel.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of cool to think of where it could go.
Yeah.
Because you could even maybe even play in the fire of his dead wife. Maybe it was these guys that had something to do with that. It's like the ultimate, oh my gosh. It's kind of weird though they were human though too, or not really human, but they look like humans.
Yeah. It's true.
They took human form.
Well, that's the thing too. They get these human beings there, and then you have these other like T-1000s that are time shifting like chameleons,
Exactly.
and then you have the Tharks, which are these like green guys with these horns that come out of their chins that are just
Yeah.
a totally different race.
Yeah.
We don't get a lot of backstory as far as where our locations are at. We just kind of go with the location. It's more of like a journey piece. It's like,
Yeah.
this is where we're going, this is what's happening, you know what's going on.
Pushes you along. It just jumps you, bam, 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 bam. You're like in a pinball machine, just going back and forth between plots. And
Yeah.
I felt the same way. But then even at that though, what are the main bad guys' names? What was the Transformer guys?
Oh,
The Changers.
No idea.
No
I can't remember
idea.
their names.
No idea.
But
That's
even at
T-1000.
that, that's kind of like their world. They don't really care.
Yeah.
They
It's
just
like-
they just manage
it's
the
not
problem. You know,
necessarily
that's
their
it.
world, or more like
What-
their universe.
Their
Like, they're controlling
yeah,
everything.
They're almost
Right.
like,
They're the behind
They
the
just,
scenes.
they just stop in and be like, hey, you gotta go over and fight that guy.
Yeah.
And then take off.
screw that guy over. It's kind of like a time cop. You know what I mean? They police time. They police space and time at the same time. They're pretty much like the controllers of it. I don't know.
It's like in the Matrix, like the agents, like they're the ones that are behind the scenes that
Right, yeah.
run
Yeah.
everything.
Right.
It is interesting. It was a decent movie. It just didn't have, like, personally for me, I didn't care about any of it. Like, nothing worked. I mean, it was just generic.
Yeah, true.
The romance and everything, I don't know. It just fell flat for me.
Yeah.
There's nothing interesting.
It's not a movie I'd watch again. I
It's
mean,
like
it's,
the-
Yeah, I
it's
don't
not,
know either.
not a two-time or
The
three-time movie.
performances aren't
My third time.
spectacular and like CGI. I'm just not a CGI kind of guy.
And it was kind of.
Just all of it.
Well, I tell you what, Chris. I mean, this is probably the first time I watched a full-length film
Yeah.
on flat screen. I mean,
Yeah.
but having like the Blu-ray effect, I haven't watched a full film
Yeah.
like that yet, and it gave it that like that
Funny feel,
that
right?
funny feeling.
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
what's the term we always use?
Polished.
It's like Days of Our Lives. It's like it's like a soap opera
yeah,
look.
daytime
Yeah.
soap opera.
I mean, I was wondering because you probably are used to that.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, first I was starting out, I was like, oh my god, it looks like a cartoon.
Yeah, it's super like crisp. Yeah, it's like everything's like cut, it's crisp.
Oh yeah, I was saying the movie reminded me a lot of Masters of the Universe, with the uniforms. The humans on Mars have these like Viking-like uniforms with fur, ships that fly. It's a lot like Masters of the
Masters of the
Universe
Universe.
to me. It seemed like it.
What year did that come out?
What?
Master of the Universe.
Back in the 80s. Time of which. Like,
No.
yeah, this is pretty old. I mean, this predates a lot of stuff, doesn't
Right.
it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's such, like, think about this. In God, we probably started this book in what, 1900?
I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, God, I think
It's
it's
amazing
something-
how the story of the lump.
Yeah, I mean,
that's neat.
over 100 years. This book. Yeah, I mean, 101 years. That's what I'm saying. Though, having those thoughts at that like stage in the world is kind of like very vast, and like the concepts, and you're a pretty smart guy coming up with stuff like that with no real influence. I mean, that's a
Well,
pretty
yeah, I
original
don't
idea.
know what's been adapted. I mean, what they've got, what's actually in the original source and what Disney took, made.
Yeah,
So,
it's fair. I should read the book.
Yeah.
I should.
but I didn't, like I said, I didn't really get anything from the movie that made me want to read the book. It was pretty hollow. It wasn't anything like.
Maybe the book's not so hollow. Maybe they made it hollow
More
because of how
depth, you know.
maybe how big the book was so
That's
big.
true, and it
Yeah,
is a
maybe.
Disney movie, and I don't like, I'm not.
How
I'm
long
not
was
like the fan of the Bruckheimer films, like Mike. I can't stand Pirates of the Caribbean films. They're phony and fluff, but that's what they're made for. They're popcorn movies for families and children.
Action.
Action.
I think it's action. It's funny.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp fan.
I like the first one.
Well, here, the humor in this didn't always work. It just, like, that
Fell
one
flat.
scene.
The humor
yeah,
fell flat.
That one scene, those two humans look at the Thark, and, like, he, like, saves them. They're on the same side, and he salutes them or whatever. It was just, it didn't.
It's
They get
campy.
The U.S. military kind of thing coming to play there, maybe.
Yeah, it just, but it didn't, I don't know, it just seemed weird.
But what about the princess, though? Huh?
Mm.
Damn.
Ooh.
Damn.
Good
Damn.
lord. Yeah, those eyes.
That
freaking
Those eyes,
I
man.
know, man. I mean, I couldn't get over her eyes neither.
I was just like, hey.
Blue lady, come on. Yeah.
You got CGI blue eyes.
I know, right? It's like you got lights in those. What's up? Yeah.
I actually thought what I liked about her was that she was older.
Yeah.
She's not some like young teeny, teen bopper or whatever. She's not. I mean, she seemed like she was pretty tough.
Yeah.
She at times she seemed legitimate, and then at times she didn't make any sense because she was like in the way. Or in the beginning, she's very much able to take care of herself.
When he first met her, though, I was thinking he just needs to find that medallion, grab her, and just
Sleep.
go back to Earth.
Yeah.
I got gold. Let's go live. Come on.
And then she would have hated them for the rest of her life because she was so attached to Helium, her home country or base. Or
I think
whatever.
he was detached from Earth so much that he didn't want to go back to Earth.
And that was
He
true.
wanted to
That's
stay.
true.
That
Yeah,
was
that's
clear
true.
that he
Yeah.
was detached.
He didn't want to go home.
And that's what that works. You put an attractive female in there, and it's enough to get.
The princess.
Most men.
Yeah,
Thrilled.
I'm a
I was
she's a
thinking
princess.
It should have
Ooh.
been called John Carter, the
Bonus.
Princess of Mars.
It actually is called The Princess of Mars.
The original title of the
The
book.
original title of the book is Princess of Mars.
Well, I think the movie should have been called John Carter and the Princess of Mars, and it would have made a lot more sense.
Still kind of got that in there where, I guess he's falling for the princess, and he's like, you need to get out of here. I was too late before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like weak love story maybe right there a little bit, like,
Trying to make you get like on board with the love story. Trying to onboard you
A
to the
little
love story.
bit.
Like, you're in the action and killing, get on board the love train. Like, on board. You're kind of like, well, I don't know if I really want to be on board that love train. I mean, I like another guy with my girl, That one girl that goes with them,
Uh-huh.
and her love for John Carter, and the reason why she stays there and like defends him, and
Yeah.
she loves him. I mean, she's in love with him, and he knows that, but he knows that she's like, I can't be with him. I can't be with the princess, first of all. Second of all, I'm not even human. But you notice that?
No, I did notice that.
You didn't notice
I was
it?
completely lost on
Oh,
it.
wow.
I could see this happening.
Yeah.
And I could see, like, maybe that, like, Twilight
Yeah.
love triangle happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, wait a minute.
Like, that's just it.
Let's go make an egg baby.
Yeah, let's make an
Little
egg
slimy
baby.
babies. Okay.
The Thark baby.
I'm so hungry. I'm
That
so
was
hungry.
interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
like there's this nest. They have all their babies in a nest,
Yeah.
and then when they hatch out, it just. I
And,
don't know.
and then they bring them back.
And they're so rough
They
with them.
just dump them out.
Yeah.
And any, like, woman will take one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a bad concept, I guess. I mean, it's like
They're more.
turtles having eggs or
Yeah,
something.
it's like they're not
Go
human.
away.
They're more. They're more animalistic.
Right.
These Tharks are.
Like reptile or something. Yeah.
I was thinking about the dog too. The CGI
Yeah.
dog. I mean, it reminded me of something from Alice in Wonderland. The dog from Alice in Wonderland.
The cat,
Just-
the face, the big fat cat from Alice in Wonderland.
No, the dog that runs. Like
Yeah,
the
I've seen all
CGI.
that.
Well, I know it looks more like the Cheshire
Yeah,
Cat,
big
but
face, yeah.
when it runs, the CGI, it just looks so silly.
I know.
I can't stand
They
it.
exaggerate
It
that
just-
a
it
lot.
looks- yeah.
They did. Yeah.
Yeah, some of the CGI
But-
is overdone.
It's
That's what I
one of
can't.
those-
I mean, I understand that. That's what it is, but
It's
it
just an
looks like
ugly,
shit.
ugly Disney character. But I could just hear my daughter. I hear her. You know, it's like, oh, oh. You know, what I mean,
You gotta rope the kids in.
They
You gotta
left
rope the
him on
kids
the
in.
shore. I kind of like was on the research to be like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, they just left the dog,
Yeah.
the CGI dog. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't get me. It
Yeah,
doesn't
it
work
did
for
me. I was
me.
like, oh, I left the dog.
It had been like a real dog
Yeah.
that had like real eyes.
It didn't get me because
It
I'm just
might have.
like, that dog goes on Mars. What help does he need from him? Like,
And it runs like
yeah, what's he
200
need?
miles per hour.
Some things of Disney has the poison in my mind that can make me like, that's pretty neat.
You drink the Kool-Aid. You drink the Disney Kool-Aid. Aww.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Don't drink the
Mickey
Kool-Aid,
Mouse sitting
Mike.
there, you first.
Yeah. Drink the fuck Kool-Aid. I'm like, damn it, Mickey. That's how they get you. And then you're buying fast track passes for $100.
So who's the star of the film? You know that guy?
Taylor Kirshner. Yeah, Taylor Kirshner. He played in Battleship.
Yeah,
Plays in
I heard
Battleship.
this today.
He played.
He's got decent arms, I'll say that.
He's a beast. Yeah.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job
Yeah.
as a cowboy. And
Hard to buy him as a cowboy with his ability.
He's too
Right.
perfect.
Yeah.
maybe he's too pretty.
Too
for
pretty
it.
boy
I
for
don't
it.
know,
Too pretty
Well,
boy.
yeah, that's the thing. He's like very like pretty boy, like very sophisticated, dapper at the end of it. But then he's just so big and monstrous, like built like.
Nobody's lifting weights and like pumping iron back in the day or doing
He
steroids.
just doesn't look legitimate, and that's the truth. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, right? You're like the same. It's like
Yeah.
the way that people worked out, or the way they build their muscles, or the way their bodies look, didn't look like that.
Yeah.
That's a modernized body.
Hey, wonder what they eat on Mars.
Well, I was wondering that myself. She fed him that stuff that made him like understand the language.
He drank something.
But then I
Yeah.
thought, what's
Yeah.
he eating? They never show him anything. He's
They're
on.
eating.
Yeah.
They don't eat. No.
Yeah.
It'll be like Stargate when like they show up there and he's like, "What is that?" Well, we'll find out. It's chicken.
You know, that's
It's
true.
chicken.
Yeah.
This is a lot like Stargate.
Yeah. I like Stargate
Yeah.
a lot.
You like the original Stargate
Even
for
kind of
Russell?
like the flying vehicles and all
Yeah.
that too.
It
Yeah.
was a lot like that.
Stargate was amazing. I liked
Really?
it when it came out. You didn't like it, did you?
I own it, and I like
Wow.
Kurt Russell. It's just,
Oh,
when
awesome.
I was a kid, I watched it, but it's a lot like that movie.
Mhm.
It's a little rougher, a little more gritty, I guess, than
Yeah.
this movie.
Has
But this is a Disney film. It's
Yeah,
not-
this has the Disney charm to it. They ride the light. They ride the light. That's what's cool. You know what I mean? They ride light. Like those ships and everything, that's what she said. They ride on the light. So they like harness the power of technology of like light.
Yeah, that's some kind of crazy
Yeah.
technology.
The pacing was off.
Yeah,
That
I
weird
hated, I
pace.
hated the
Absolutely.
pacing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much going on. Too much to remember.
With this movie, they never give you enough time to invest in anybody, really. I mean, you invest in John Carter because he's the main character, but I never really felt like I invested into really that many characters in the film. I mean,
That's true, yeah.
maybe a handful of characters. I'm just like, okay,
Well,
cool.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was gonna say something different, but you're right. Like even the Tharks, like the first guy that you like kind of saves them, that you kind of would like to identify with, he's an asshole. He's just like unbalanced and like they're just I don't know. It is hard.
Pick a
It's
side.
very hard to identify with any of the Tharks, but then you can easily turn against the guy that's got the broken. I mean, that's how generic it is. It's like make the guy that is the bad guy
He's
have
the bad guy.
broken.
That's right,
thought,
yeah.
You know, so he stands out. And you
I
can
think
tell.
you want to try to start picking like who you want to root for in the movie sooner
Yeah.
or later. You know, like say relate to them, but you want to pick a certain team in the movie somewhere. You know, I mean, it's kind of like, well, who do I really root for here? You know?
Yeah. John Carter, though, is getting one thumb and one thumb down. That's
You're the
my
one that
review.
picked it.
I know, but all these great points you brought up during discussion.
My scale was like 1 to 10. 10
All right.
being least, 10 being good. I say 4.5.
4.5.
I'll give it 4.5.
All right.
You know, I mean, it wasn't a waste of my time. I liked watching it. It was good, but I wouldn't watch it again. It's not a do-over movie.
This movie, I'd give it a 2. It's
Yeah.
good, and it's fine. You can watch it. There's you know story, romance. There's some battling, some cute characters. It's just dumbed down for the masses.
Knowing what Mike's pick is, and it will be
Last of the Mohicans.
All right, awesome. Well, we are out. See you next week. Later.